Mike Gillis joining us now. He is a presentation of CMW Insurance. Been a quiet day for Mike down in Phoenix. Mike, how are you?
I'm great, Barry. How are you?
Well, and thank you. How did Roberto take the news?
He took the news well. I don't think it's. I think everyone knew that he had a desire to go back to Florida, so he took the news well and wished us luck, and he acted like a real professional.
What did Saturday have to do with this getting done today, Mike?
Saturday didn't really have much to do with it. We felt there might be an opportunity, so we had to adjust some things with our lineup, but it really didn't. We've had a difficult season, as you guys know, in a lot of different fronts, and we just felt really strongly for the last few months that we needed to really have the courage to start retooling this team and getting younger and looking at different opportunities to free up space so that we could bring a different complexion and perhaps begin to look at things a little bit differently than we have in the past few years here, and this was one step in that direction.
Mike, were you comfortable with the decision to start Eddie Lack on the weekend, knowing that Roberto had made it pretty clear that the game would have meant a lot to him?
Well, Barry, and this has nothing to do with our coaching staff, but I don't make those decisions. I don't coach the team. They make the decisions, and they made that decision for a variety of reasons, and I support them on it. Every game's important, and that game, of course, is an important game. The fact remains is that they felt strongly about this direction with the possibility of something happening on the trade deadline. The ice wasn't that good. The conditions weren't great. We just thought that was the right thing to do. There was
a report that Louis' agent called you as a result of that decision and asked you if you could expedite a trade. Is that true?
You know that I don't talk about any discussions that I have with regarding players and personal matters away from their playing the game. I can tell you I did talk to Pat Brisson, but I can't tell you the details of what the conversation was.
Mike, you mentioned this change of direction you needed the courage to undertake and have now clearly begun to undertake. With Ryan Kesler having come to you, or at least we understand that he has come to you based on the number of rumors out there, is there a chance that there will be more people looking to perhaps initiate a change of scenery?
Well, we've taken a lot of phone calls about a lot of different possibilities, and I'm not sure what the outcome's going to be, Tony. Of course, we want to do what's right for the hockey team and do the best deals we possibly can do, and we're going to continue taking offers and taking phone calls. There's, rampant speculation about all sorts of different things regarding the Canucks, which is, a fairly normal thing, and you have to expect that, but, some of them are pretty outrageous, and, it just seems to go on and on, which is fine. I mean, that's the marketplace we're in, and people are really connected with the team, and our fans are passionate, and they're loyal, and they care about what's going on. So, consequently, we always have a lot of rumors going on about our hockey team. What's going to happen between now and tomorrow afternoon, I'm unsure about, but if we end up doing stuff, it'll be in the same vein that we have undertaken today, which is to continue to create opportunities for younger players, look at opportunities for younger players and different guys that need to gain experience and continue with that effort.
How would you explain this colossal meltdown in the Sedin's play?
Well, I think there's a number of factors. Really good players don't suddenly get bad as a collective group, and I think having Alex hurt for a large part of the year and him trying to regain his form at different times, playing with lots of different people, injuries that they both had on their own, some not serious enough to keep them out of the lineup, but some serious enough to, and I think our team as a whole has we've kind of sat here and talked about how at different levels things that could possibly go wrong have gone wrong, and we've lost a lot of games with leads in the third period. A lot of stuff has happened, and we need to use that as illumination as opposed to sticking our head in the sand and feeling sorry for ourselves. We need to continue to move forward and act on a plan that we have and get back to the levels that we expect to be at.
Rolly Melanson has worked wonders with Eddie Lack. Lack is now crucial in this organization, as is young Markstrom. I'm sure he's very much in the plans. Do you have Rolly secured long-term to continue to work with Eddie here and Jakob as well?
Well, we've discussed contract extensions with all of our staff and are in the process of doing that. Rolly is a huge part of our team and wants to stay, and I'm sure that we'll get things sorted out.
Well, just hearing he wants to stay, because that was not clear. That's good news for everybody, because it's certainly good news for Lack, because it wasn't clear that he did want to stay. So,
no, I think he does. Yeah.
What can you tell us now about the pressure on Eddie? You obviously think he's ready to pick it up and handle it. What can you tell us about the changes now? It's different to go to starter for Eddie. You think he's ready to handle it, clearly?
Yeah, I do think he's ready to handle it. He's an experienced guy. He would have gained another full year of experience if he hadn't been injured, unfortunately, last year. But we knew last year he was ready to play, and he has shown us that he's ready to play. We need to give him some support, and we need to give him some run support, and we need to give him some defensive support, and he'll be fine. If any goalie in this league doesn't have those two things, then they're going to be middle of the pack. So we need to pick it up around him. And one thing this group has done, we faced a lot of adversity in the past, and this group has pulled tighter together when those things have happened. And I'm counting on the leadership here at Strong. I'm counting on them to pull together and tighten up and protect this guy.
What is the upside with Sean Mathias? He's 26 years old, 6'4". He's a big body. He was a second-rounder of Detroit in 2006. I'm telling our listeners that. I'm presuming you know all that, Mike. What did you get in Sean Mathias?
Well, we got a young player who's versatile, who adds size. He can kill penalties really well. He had a terrific season in the lockout-shortened season. He's had a good season this year. We think that if he can play with the right players, and he can really bring something to our team. And again, we've been able to add another young player, hopefully that can come in here and handle the pressure of playing in Vancouver and thrive. We like him a lot. There's a lot of teams that liked him, but getting him in this deal was a critical part.
Will the perception of what happened on the weekend, whether it's realistic or not, hurt you with respect to attracting free agents in the summer?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Well, I think there's a feeling that maybe Louis was hard done by, that it was a terrible coaching decision, blah, blah. You've heard it all. Does this impact on players when they make decisions with respect to coming to a certain team?
No. I think that, the guys on Hockey Night clearly got completely bent out of shape about that situation. And, the fact remains is Roberto was traded today. And you have to make decisions that are sometimes not obvious to people out there, that so that you don't impact on future plans. And
so you held him out. You held Louis out because you had this trade in the works.
Well, there were possibilities out there, and it came together pretty quickly the last 10 hours. But there were distinct possibilities, and we just felt strongly that if we were going to do this and we were going to retool, sometimes you have to make difficult decisions, and we made a difficult decision. And as you guys know, and people are open to criticize, they're open to take positions on these things, and sometimes they don't have the complete set of facts in front of them.
Mike, you're on pace for 106 points after the December 30th game against Philadelphia. Are you surprised that you're doing what you're doing right now with regards to reshaping this team? The Luongo deal's done, and there could well be more.
Even though we won a lot of games in December, I didn't feel like we were strong enough to. I didn't feel that we were strong enough then to really be an elite level team like we had been used to, and we felt that it was time that we had to begin to plan for the eventuality that if we didn't continue at that pace, I mean, if we had continued at that pace and continued to play really well defensively, perhaps we might be waiting a little bit longer, but we went from that month to January where we saw a lot of things that we felt would require attention, and that we felt for our fans and for us to get to the expectations that we have, that we had to begin to think this way. And throughout the month of January, which was a troubling month in a lot of ways, I mean, our coach got suspended, and we lost a lot of games, and we lost leads, and we didn't play particularly well, in my opinion. We have to think this way, and if you look at a team like Anaheim, which is now an elite level team, they missed the playoffs after they made a big deal. They missed the playoffs, and then younger players have begun to participate, and you get more balance. And the one thing that we saw throughout January is with players hurt, and even in December with players hurt, if you don't have depth and you don't have balance in your lineup, you're going to have a really tough time in this league, because so many teams are equal. So many teams are close to one another. And even though you're losing one-goal games, if you're losing them consistently, you need to think about where you're really at in the process, and that's what we've begun to do. How
disconcerting is the job right now, Mike? How challenging is the job right now? You've got an impatient/angry fan base right now. I have the sense in Vancouver, certainly if our phone calls are any indication. What's it like being you right now?
Well, it's tough being any general manager in this league right now. We went through a lockout. We had the cap reduced. We've had a lot of moving parts that were impossible to anticipate, and we've become accustomed to winning a lot. And we have won a lot, and we've gotten as close as any Vancouver team. We didn't finish it off, which is a problem for all of us. But we're as impatient and as upset about the performance of the hockey team as anybody, and we live it every day. So, I understand completely. We understand the anxiety and how connected people are with this hockey team, and we feel the same sort of pressures and issues. But it's our livelihood, so we probably feel them a little bit stronger than most. And you have to do what's right all the time. You have to try and do what's right all the time. That's what we do. We face enormous hurdles that we try and overcome and try and protect people, and that's all we can do.
Finally, Mike, you appear to need scoring. Daniel Sedin gets hurt, and you bring up Archibald as opposed to Nicholas Jensen. Is that moving over towards this development? I mean, it almost looks like you just want to leave Jensen down there to keep developing and not worry about what's going on here so much. Or do you think he's just not ready to handle the NHL at this point?
Yeah, we're worried about what's going on here, but, we have a young player who's just started to blossom.
Yeah.
And, he has played really well the last month, but it's been 1 month. And our preference is to leave him there where he's really feeling comfortable with the pace. He's beginning to score a lot. He's playing a lot more. He's playing with good players and in good situations. And there's going to be an opportunity for him to come here. When he's on this kind of a roll and his development is accelerating at the pace it's accelerating, you hate to step in bring him here for 2 weeks or whatever, or the remainder of the season, and have him suddenly stop doing all those things. And he's going to get an opportunity for sure. He's really just starting to blossom. Brendan Gaunce is just starting to blossom in Erie. There's a lot of opportunity for these young guys. We're going to create the opportunity, but they have to be ready for it. And we think Nick Jensen is just scratching the surface, and he's now starting to play really well. So, for us, we're going to have to grind out games the way we're playing. And we will see Nick Jensen at some point in this process, but we'll see him when we think he's really ready to step in and play in a top six role and do what he's doing there.
Mike, summarize, if you could, what Luongo did on your watch here in Vancouver.
Roberto was, we got to the seventh game of the Stanley Cup Finals. He's a terrific person. He wears his heart on his sleeve. I think he got. There were frustrations at times with how he felt he was treated in the media and different things, but all I've known him to be is a complete professional and a really good person who cares, who competes, and is a really good hockey player, great hockey player. So, I've got nothing but good memories of Roberto, and will have nothing but good memories of him as a Vancouver Canuck.
Is it okay if we keep you on hold in case something else gets done?
Well, we've got to go win a hockey game tonight and try our hardest and support our young goalie and hopefully come away with 2 points.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Tony.